Hi, here we are. This is lesson 5 of drawing a McLaren P1, and as you can see we've started to work on the body. And the reason that we're doing that is now that we've gotten most of the dark areas out of the way, what we're trying to do is to work up gradually on the lighter areas that are on the body so that we don't get too close to the very darkest areas. We want to make this have a wide range of tonal values, and that gives the most interesting and dramatic pictures. So that's what we're doing right now, is we're kind of sneaking up on the value that we're going to use as the final value for the body. And it probably will be darkened from here, but this is just the exploratory beginnings of doing the color variation between the dark and the light. And this is the part where the drawing is made or lost, is right here. Now, I could go ahead and I could make this into a black car, and if I did, then I wouldn't care anymore about the difference in total values, but I don't want to do that. I want to get it close to the way that the photograph that I have is, and it's a fairly medium range color. So I want to be sure that I don't get too dark, and I don't want to spoil the spread of tonal values that I have on the photograph. So you can see here that's exactly what we're doing, is we're working on the areas that are around the darkest areas. So being as they're almost right next to one another, then I can compare them very easily. It's very easy to take a look at one to the other. So and I'm checking as I do this against the photograph that I have. So I see that I'm not going too far, just trying to make this look pretty much like the photograph. But again, like I say, very often I kind of deviate from the photograph because I want to make it more dramatic. So we'll see how this goes and what we do with it. There may be some things on here that will actually blow way out of proportion just to make it a better photograph, make it a better picture. And it's a beautiful photograph that I have, but I wouldn't mind changing it around a little bit either, because that'll kind of make it mine. I still have not seen one of these cars, but there was one that was on display today. It was just that I didn't have time enough to go take a look at it. It was only going to be there for a couple hours, and I was already working on some other projects, so I didn't have time enough to go over there to take a look at it. But one of these cars was going to be on display over at the local Lamborghini dealer for a few hours today. I went to Cars and Coffee in Irvine, and it's probably one of the greatest car shows ever, certainly one of the best weekly car shows ever. And McLaren had a 650S over there, and they had a couple 12Cs also. So McLaren was well represented there today. But the fellow who was driving the P1, or I'm sorry, the 650, told me about the P1 that was over at the Lamborghini dealer. I wish I'd had the time to go over there, but as I say, to get all my other stuff done, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So I chose to not make it today. But one of these days, I'm sure one of them will show up over at one of the car shows I attend. So I'll get to see one sooner or later in the flesh, so to speak. Okay, here we are working now on the windshield posts. Coming along just fine so far. When I go back over this too, after we finally do decide what color ranges there are, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to fill in some of the spots without darkening it much and make it look a little less grainy than it does right now. This is just in a very early days on the drawing, so it won't actually look this crude when it gets done. You can look back at some of my former cars and get an idea of what they look like after they have been completed. The history on some of these cars in my blog, you will see how they start out and how they finish, and it's considerably different. I know a lot of people don't even like to show their work in the middle because they know that it's difficult for somebody who doesn't have the photograph right in front of them to envision what it's going to look like. And I used to be like that too, but now I don't care, and everybody can see how it works out. And this is how you learn. This is how you see how different people do different things. I belong to a couple websites that show drawings, and we often show drawings that are in process. So now it doesn't mean much to me anymore. I'm not afraid of doing it like I used to be. Anyway, coming down toward the end, got just a little bit of time left here. But tomorrow we'll work more on the hood, and we should be starting to get really close to the end. But I hope to see you back here tomorrow, and we will get this puppy a little further down the road. Thank you very much. See you then. Bye.